What if the melody of a lost voice could echo through the void, binding shattered souls in a symphony of grief and renewal, much like the haunting refrains of Beethoven's late quartets, composed amid deafness, where silence births profound harmony. Hear the resonant hum of strings vibrating against frost-kissed air, taste the bitter warmth of shared tea in a snow-laced haven, feel the weight of unspoken farewells pressing like invisible hands on your chest. This is the poignant heartbeat of Episode 5 of SI-VIS, The Sound of Heroes, released on November 2, 2025, nestled within the formation arc where a band of idols-turned heroes grapples with absence amid their dual lives. It unfolds as a tender interlude, evoking the quiet aftermath of historical battles like the lull after Gettysburg, where survivors sift through ruins to rebuild spirits, drawing you into the intimate circle, as if you're huddled with them in that dimly lit room, the crackle of a fire mirroring the crack in their resolve, leaving you yearning. How does one harmonize when the lead note fades forever? Emerging from Episode 4's tense hideouts and revelations, where the group navigates covert alliances reminiscent of underground resistance cells in wartime Paris, this chapter shifts to a reflective retreat that propels emotional cohesion forward. The SI-VIS members converge in a serene, snow-draped Aomori setting, engaging in collaborative creation that mirrors the communal forging of folk songs during the American Civil Rights Movement, where music became a vessel for collective healing. Subtle disclosures about past dynamics surface amid everyday acts like cooking and composing, building toward hints of looming shadows, akin to the foreboding calm before a Shakespearean tragedy's storm. Yet, the episode suspends on an enigmatic note, a veiled figure in the periphery that teases unrest, immersing you in the crisp chill of anticipation. As if the snowflakes brush your face, the distant melody tugs at your ear, urging you to unravel the silence's secrets. Iron plot progression. Episode 5 deftly advances the narrative by prioritizing introspection over action, unveiling revelations about interpersonal histories and a departed leader's enduring influence that pivot the group's trajectory toward unified purpose, echoing the narrative turns in epics like the Odyssey, where homecomings reveal deeper bonds. Twists manifest in candid admissions that reframe relationships, culminating in a post-credits cliffhanger that injects subtle dread, balancing the episode's deliberate pacing. A slow-burn rhythm that allows emotional layers to unfold without rush, achieving dramatic equilibrium akin to a well-composed sonata. Fans often puzzle over cloudy aspects such as the abrupt shift to downtime amid escalating threats, or the ambiguity of a hooded intruder's intent. As an original anime with no manga, light novel, or web novel source, confirmed through production notes from Aniplex, this setup draws from archetypal storytelling. The lull mirrors real idol group documentaries where breaks foster growth, clarifying that the intruder's silhouette foreshadows a return to conflict, providing context that the animation uses to build suspense rather than resolve, enriching the series' blend of music and heroism. Character development resonates with raw authenticity, unearthing vulnerabilities that catalyze subtle transformations, much like the introspective monologues in Dostoevsky's novels, where inner turmoil forges resilience. Kyoya emerges as a reluctant anchor, his motivations scarred by inadequacy yet surprising in their quiet resolve, choices consistent with his arc yet transformative as he absorbs a mentor's legacy, leaving you to ponder your own untapped harmonies. Siren reveals impulsive depths, her dialogue exposing hidden affections that surprise in their candor, fostering growth through unfiltered truth. Rue and others like June and Suji expose layered wounds of past crushes and protective instincts, their interactions a mosaic of surprise and consistency that humanizes their heroic facades, as if you're eavesdropping on their confessions, feeling the warmth of their shared vulnerabilities. Thematically, the episode probes the resonance of legacy against loss, manifesting in struggles where power demands sacrifice. Characters channel grief into creation, questioning, can hope's melody drown despair's silence, akin to the philosophical underpinnings of Nietzsche's eternal recurrence, where repetition births meaning. Survival hinges on moral choices and unity, complicating the universe with lore of sound-based energies tied to emotional crowds, enriching the idol-hero hybrid by layering cultural rules of performance as both art and armor, evoking historical troubadours who wielded songs as weapons in feudal courts. Dialogue hums with poetic intimacy, sharp yet laced with warmth, lines that foreshadow unity's fragility and resonate like Bob Dylan's protest anthems, carrying weight that echoes post-credits, pulling you into the scene as if the words vibrate through your bones, stirring suspense. What lyrics would you pen if your voice could summon salvation or summon shadows? Technically, the animation captivates with fluid, evocative visuals. Soft blues and whites of snow symbolize purifying isolation, lighting casting gentle glows that contrast stark shadows of memory, where stillness in contemplative shots yields to rhythmic movement in song sequences. Beauty here as a fragile veil over sorrow, shaping impact like a canvas where hues evoke emotional thaw. Direction employs intimate close-ups and sweeping pans that mirror inner reflections, editing a gentle cadence that amplifies tender tensions, composing frames that envelop you in the group's circle. The soundtrack embodies a spectral guide, its motifs of melancholic strings and uplifting crescendos searing into memory during revelations, elevating bonds while poignant silences whisper louder than words, reminiscent of John Williams's subtle swells in character-driven moments. Voice acting shines profoundly. Kyoya's Siyu conveys tremor and depth, embodying a soul awakening to leadership. Siren's timbre quivers with impulsive fire, infusing her essence with vibrant authenticity. Emotionally, this episode lingers like a scar. I felt a swell of poignant ache bloom into quiet wonder, moments etching with their raw intimacy, yet igniting sparks of communal hope, much like the collective mourning after a leader's fall in revolutions, such as the Velvet One, where songs, rebirth spirits. Pivotal convergences hint at destinies harmonizing in a resonant breaking point that alters rhythms, connecting to eternal queries. In Echoes of the Departed, what tune would you strike to defy oblivion? It resonates, as if you're there, the melody wrapping around you in the snow. Dare you let the silence prevail? Through a reverse gaze, the episode's languid pacing and opacity in historical teases might bemuse action seekers. Yet these choices deliberately thematicize reflection as heroism's core, akin to the intentional pauses in haiku that amplify essence, heightening immersion. Complexity and dynamics could overwhelm, but it invites emotional investment. Minor cliches and revelations, while critiquable, ground the fantasy in relatable humanity, balancing splendor with subtlety. In summation, Episode 5 excels in heartfelt depth and artistic subtlety, its strengths, evocative character arcs, thematic harmony, and auditory poetry, eclipsing fleeting lulls to triumph in its goals as a soul-stirring bridge in the saga. But as notes fade into wintry hush, I ask, can you ignore the call when a hero's sound beckons from the void, urging your own verse? Watch, and let it resonate within. The symphony of your unspoken battles awaits its crescendo.